Amanda Bynes was found wandering downtown LA completely naked and alone, and it's exposing the brutal reality of what happens when conservatorships end. The former child star called 911 on herself during a psychotic episode exactly 1 year after her conservatorship was terminated, with everyone celebrating her freedom. Her ex-fiancé claims she's been off her meds, revealing the impossible choice between forced medication and potential self-destruction that defines mental health treatment in America. Bynes has bipolar disorder and manic depression, conditions that don't magically disappear when legal guardianship ends. The timing is devastating. She was supposed to make her first public appearance since gaining independence at 90s Con, but instead, she's back on a 72-hour psychiatric hold. This isn't a failure of Amanda Bynes. It's proof that our mental health system abandons people the moment they're legally free to refuse help, even when their brain is literally incapable of making rational decisions about their own safety.
A woman fell in love with her psychiatrist and used ChatGPT named Henry as her therapist to build a case against him, and the internet is losing its mind. Kendra Hilty's viral 25-part TikTok series has millions of views as she accuses her psychiatrist of deliberately manipulating her through intermittent reinforcement, being warm one session, cold the next. She claims he stopped asking psychiatric questions after 6 sessions and turned their appointments into personal conversations. But mental health professionals are calling this classic transference that she's misinterpreting as manipulation. The most disturbing part is how she anthropomorphized an AI chatbot as Henry and used it as her primary therapist to validate her obsession with her real doctor. Hilty is now monetizing her story through TikTok's Creator Fund and seeking TV deals, while internet sleuths have doxed her psychiatrist, who can't defend himself due to HIPAA laws. This case reveals how AI therapy substitutes and social media validation can create dangerous delusions that destroy real mental health professionals' careers and lives.
Two 13-year-old girls were found dead on a Brooklyn subway roof after subway surfing, and the psychology behind this deadly TikTok trend is more disturbing than you think. Subway surfing involves riding on top of moving trains for social media clout, and it's become a viral challenge that's literally killing teenagers across New York City. The girls were discovered unconscious and unresponsive at 3 a.m., their bodies broken from a game that promises online fame, but delivers only death. This isn't just reckless behavior, it's a psychological phenomenon where adolescent brains, desperate for social validation and dopamine hits, choose potentially fatal stunts over safety. The trend exploits teenage neurodevelopment, where the reward-seeking parts of the brain mature faster than impulse control, creating a perfect storm for deadly decision-making. Social media algorithms amplify these dangerous challenges because engagement drives profit, regardless of whether that engagement comes from viral videos or viral deaths. These girls died chasing likes and views in a system that monetizes their self-destruction.
Eric Dane missed the Emmys because ALS made him fall in his kitchen and split his head open, revealing the brutal psychological reality of living with a terminal diagnosis. The Grey's Anatomy star was supposed to reunite with his castmates, but instead spent Emmy night in the hospital getting stitches. A stark reminder that ALS doesn't care about your career milestones or public appearances. Dane's fall represents the psychological torture of ALS, knowing your body is systematically betraying you while your mind remains trapped inside, fully aware of every function you're losing. The timing is particularly cruel because the Emmys would have been a celebration of his career achievements, but ALS turned it into another reminder of his mortality and declining physical capabilities. Living with ALS means every day could be the day your legs give out, your speech fails, or you fall and can't get up, creating constant anxiety and hypervigilance about your own body. Dane's hospitalization isn't just a medical incident. It's a glimpse into the psychological helm of watching yourself disappear while everyone else gets to live normally.
Rapture talk is being called religious psychosis by therapists, and the mass delusion spreading across Christian TikTok is genuinely terrifying mental health professionals. Thousands of users are posting videos claiming the rapture is imminent, sharing prophetic dreams and exhibiting classic symptoms of religious delusions that therapists recognize as potential psychotic episodes. The trend exploded after another failed apocalypse prediction, but instead of reality checking, Christian TikTok doubled down with increasingly manic content about end times and divine visions. Mental health professionals are watching in horror as religious psychosis spreads virally, with users reinforcing each other's delusions through comments and duets instead of seeking psychiatric help. The algorithm amplifies the most extreme religious content because it generates engagement, creating an echo chamber where delusions are validated and mental illness is rebranded as spiritual awakening. Rapture Talk represents the dangerous intersection of untreated mental illness and social media, where religious delusions can spread like a contagion and vulnerable people mistake psychotic symptoms for divine revelation. This isn't faith, it's mass hysteria disguised as Christianity.
Half of TikTok's top mental health videos contain dangerous misinformation, and the platform is literally making people sicker while pretending to help them. A new study reveals that videos under the mental health tips hashtag are spreading false information about ADHD, depression, anxiety, and other conditions, convincing millions of users to self-diagnose and avoid professional treatment. The misinformation ranges from claiming everyday problems are ADHD symptoms to promoting dangerous DIY therapy techniques that can worsen mental health conditions. TikTok's algorithm prioritizes engagement over accuracy, meaning the most dramatic and clickbait mental health content gets the most views, regardless of whether it's medically sound. Young people are using these videos as primary sources for mental health information, skipping doctors and therapists in favor of influencers who have no medical training but millions of followers. The platform is creating a generation of people who think they understand mental health based on 60-second videos, leading to misdiagnosis, inappropriate treatment, and delayed professional care. This isn't just misinformation. It's a public health crisis where social media is actively harming the people it claims to help.
TikTok employees are raising concerns about the platform being designed like a casino to create addiction, and the psychological manipulation is more sinister than you realize. Internal reports reveal that TikTok's algorithm is specifically engineered to trigger dopamine responses and create compulsive usage patterns that mirror gambling addiction. The platform uses variable reward schedules, the same psychological technique that makes slot machines addictive, to keep users scrolling for hours without realizing how much time has passed. Employees describe feeling trapped in a system designed to exploit human psychology for profit, knowing they're contributing to widespread mental health problems, including anxiety, depression, and attention disorders. The algorithm specifically targets vulnerable users, including those with existing mental health conditions, because they generate more engagement through compulsive usage patterns. TikTok's addiction by design model is creating a generation of people with shortened attention spans, increased anxiety, and dopamine dysregulation that affects their ability to function in real life. This isn't just social media, it's psychological warfare disguised as entertainment, and the people building it are finally speaking out about the damage they're causing.
A viral TikToker claims her psychiatrist used intermittent reinforcement to make her fall in love with him, accidentally exposing the most powerful psychological manipulation technique ever discovered. Kendra Hilty describes how her doctor would be warm and wonderful one session, then cold and detached the next, creating an addiction-like response that made her crave his approval and attention. Intermittent reinforcement is the same technique that makes gambling addictive and abusive relationships so hard to leave. Unpredictable rewards create stronger psychological bonds than consistent positive treatment. Mental health professionals are divided on whether this was deliberate manipulation or normal therapeutic boundaries that Hilty misinterpreted through the lens of romantic transference. The case reveals how intermittent reinforcement operates in everyday relationships, from toxic partners who alternate between love bombing and withdrawal to social media algorithms that randomly reward users with viral content. Understanding this psychological principle explains why people stay in harmful situations and chase validation from people who treat them inconsistently. Whether or not her psychiatrist was manipulative, Hilty's story accidentally became a masterclass in the psychology of addiction and emotional manipulation.
Eric Dane's ALS diagnosis is forcing him to confront the psychological torture of knowing exactly how he's going to die, and his Amy Knight hospitalization revealed the brutal reality of terminal illness. ALS is particularly cruel because it preserves mental function while systematically destroying physical capabilities, creating a psychological prison where your mind remains sharp as your body fails. Dane's fall in his kitchen represents the daily terror of ALS patients who never know when their body will betray them next, turning simple activities like cooking into potential death traps. The psychological impact of ALS extends beyond physical symptoms to include anticipatory grief, where patients mourn their own future death while still alive, and survivor guilt about burdening their families with caregiving responsibilities. Living with ALS means watching yourself disappear in slow motion while maintaining full awareness of the process, creating a unique form of psychological torture that few other diseases inflict. Dane's missed Emmy appearance isn't just about a fall. It's about the impossible choice between maintaining normalcy and accepting the reality that your body is no longer reliable enough for public life.